Welcome to Love Bytes, the show where we debug romance. Now, I am not a doctor. I am not a psychiatrist.
I am not a patient.
I don't have a degree in sociology or psychology, but what I do have is wealth of experience and a sincere desire to help you. Because sometimes love can get messy. And sometimes, if you're not careful, love bites. Welcome to Love Bytes, everybody. I am your host, Neil Erickson, also known as Koibu. And typically on the show, I would have a co-host, but for this first week, it's just going to be me and you and the stars. So, let's start with our first question. How do you keep a long-term relationship from going stagnant? Well, we have the short version and we have the long version. Let's start with the short version. StarCraft. If you play enough StarCraft and your significant other plays enough StarCraft, you're set forever. Let's take the longer approach for those of you that actually have the time to devote to this. Relationships can be tricky. Part of a relationship is knowing and trusting one another. And another part of a relationship is having that unknown with the person, that kind of distance, that separation where you can still admire them and think of them as desirable without knowing them too close. Because once you get too close to someone or something, you know it too well and it kind of loses a little of its attractiveness. It's a sad truth about the world, but it is true. I'm going to post a link in chat. This is actually about sex in marriages, but the advice that the things that this lady is saying here is actually pertinent to this conversation as well. The idea that she's putting forward is you need to keep a little bit of space between you and your partner, so that way you can always find them attractive. So you can always, I can't remember her exact phrasing, but you want that distance. You want to be able to imagine them as something you want to see them in their great points, or you love them most when they're further away. So if your relationship is getting stagnant, it's probably because you are getting too comfortable, okay? And being comfortable in all things in life, especially relationships, it just really brings about the death. So how do you keep a relationship from getting stagnant? Let's assume that you're already there. Let's assume you've already gotten to the point where your relationship is feeling kind of stale. And for whatever reason, you guys can't play StarCraft together. Maybe she plays Zerg and you just can't deal with that. I understand that can be a problem. I've done my best to keep myself away from Zerg women, except for Kerrigan, but she's not available for me right now. So if for whatever reason StarCraft can't fix your romantic life, some time apart is useful, but you actually have to have real time apart. You need to go out and do something with you and your friends, and then your significant other needs to go out and do something with them and their friends, and then you guys reconvene, and then you have something, you have that time apart, like 3 days, a week, whatever, and that can really help you kind of appreciate each other once again. But even after, let's say you spent, I don't mean like a week apart in terms of like not talking and just keep being completely separate, but a week apart, just, kind of exploring what it is to be single again. Not single, but how do you explain? You need to both bring something to the table. If both of you are bringing the exact same thing to the table, it's not going to work, okay? So you need to bring separate things to the table. If we're making dinner and you bring bread and I bring bread, that's a shitty dinner. So I need to bring pasta, and then you need to bring wine. So, sorry about that. That's my older brother there. Fixed a sound. It's bad again. Well, I have no idea why the sound is bad. That is a most unforeseen and sad problem. Well, that really sucks because everything on my side makes it look like it's awesome. And that is a terrible way to start a show. We're just going to restart the stream.